Redfin's newest headline is that home buyers are back. They're back seeing properties, scheduling tours, and making offers on homes. But in my opinion, the data seems to tell a different story. See, inventory is rising across the country. Pretty much every county across the United States has more inventory this year than they did last year. And that's not because more sellers are listing their homes. Although there are more new listings, a big reason why there's more inventory on the market is because there are less buyers out there in the housing market right now. Things just are unaffordable for the average home buyer in the United States. So the big question is, now that Jerome Powell has stated that the Federal Reserve is going to switch their Fed policy, the Fed funds rate policy, and begin cutting rates most likely in September, and likely to continue throughout 2024 and into 2025. The question is, how will the housing market respond as mortgage rates drop with the Fed funds? Now, we've already seen mortgage rates come down to around between 6 and 6.5%, which is significant. They were sitting at between seven. They're sitting between 6.5 and 7.25% for the past 8 months or so. So the fact that they're down below that 6.5% mark is great for home buyers, and we are seeing more affordability throughout the country. But the real question is, what happens to the housing market when rates drop below 6%, when they hit the fives or maybe even the fours? I don't know if it's going to get that low, but it could. Those are the questions we're going to be exploring in this video to help you make the best decision with your home purchase or sale. Before we get into it, my name is Liam O'Reilly. I'm a realtor in Vermont with Jerry Riley Real Estate. If you have any real estate needs, whether in Vermont or anywhere across the country, reach out to me directly and I'll be happy to help you. So the first thing that we are talking about here, and I know my head kind of cuts off the title, but it says house hunters are back as monthly mortgage payments post first annual decline since 2020, which is great news for home buyers as the housing market becomes more affordable with mortgage rates declining. So this first highlighted section that I have here, it says pending home sales are down 5.3% year over year, meaning less homes are going under contract. Less buyers are putting properties under contract this year compared to last year, which is the biggest decline in 9 months, with the exception of the 4 weeks ending on August 4th. Now, mortgage purchase applications are down 8%, meaning that there's less buyers out there in the market. There's less buyers who are submitting loan applications to purchase a property. But pending sales, they say here, pending sales are a lagging indicator and they may improve as home tours pick up. And Redfin agents report they've seen an uptick in buyer interest. Now, me personally, I haven't necessarily seen a large uptick in buyers' interest since mortgage rates dropped. It takes a little while for buyers to realize that mortgage rates are down, to realize that they can actually afford the home that they want to purchase. And mortgage rates, yes, they are down, but they're still well above where they were in 2022 and 2021 when interest rates were at around 3%. So many of the home sellers out there who have that low mortgage rate are still holding on to their properties. Now, in my opinion, the reason why the housing market is struggling right now, the reason why we're seeing active inventory is because there are less buyers out there. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of this video that new listings are up, and we see that here. New listings up 3% year over year. So yes, there are more homes, there are more sellers listing their homes this year than there were last year. But when we take a look at what's going on with home buyers, the pending sales are down 5.3% year over year. So a larger decrease in pending sales compared to an increase in new listings. Of course, the two of these work hand in hand, right? More sellers are listing their homes, less buyers are putting those homes under contract, which is why inventory is up so high. When we take a look at active inventory, it's up 18% year over year. We're right around 2022 levels, and the 2022 housing market was an interesting time because mortgage rates were increasing, and this was coming out of the 3% interest rate era, and buyers were really hesitant to jump into the housing market in the fall of 2022. Now, in 2023, mortgage rates were already high. They were actually peaked in 2023 at around 8% and then started to decrease. So the fact that we're 18% above 2023 levels is a big sign because home prices, housing affordability was still low back in 2023. Now, when we take a look at the chart, we're actually right around the affordability that we saw in 2023 here. When we look at the home buyer housing payments, which is this graph right here, we see this blue line is 2024, the orange line is 2023, and we're 0.1% below the affordability of last year. Now, as we rolled into fall last year, that's when interest rates started to peak again and hit that right around 8% mortgage rate mark. And then they started to decline as we entered the new year. Right now, we're at 6.49%, even though home prices haven't gone down at all. We see the median sales prices up 3.6% year over year. We're not seeing a steady trend down. Home prices are remaining relatively flat, which is what I've said is going to happen. I've been calling that for the past 6-8 months now, and that is what we're seeing. But we are seeing affordability start to come down because mortgage rates are decreasing. So what's going to happen to the US housing market as affordability drops? Well, when we take a look at the year over year change in inventory by metro, so this chart tracks how the percentage increase in inventory based on different counties across the United States. So the larger circle means there's over 40,000 properties for sale in that market. The medium is 15,000 and the smaller is 4,000. So when you go up to, say, Burlington, Vermont, where I am, there's a 54% year over year increase in the Burlington, South Burlington market. Now, I don't know exactly what counties they're calling that market, but I would say that's pretty accurate. We have, it says that on July 2023, there were 256 homes for sale. Now there are almost 400 homes for sale. So a relatively large increase, although we're still below pre-pandemic levels, where the inventory in July of 2019 was 835 homes. So less homes than 2019, but many more listings than 2023. And again, the big reason for that, it's not because we've overbuilt and there's an oversupply of inventory, right? That's why home prices are staying high. Home prices are staying high because although inventory is increasing across the country, we still are undersupplied we're still at historically low levels in most counties across the country. Now, when we take a look at this chart, which shows the 2019 compared to 2024 inventory levels, and we've talked about this in previous videos, so I'm just going to go over this quickly, but Texas and Florida have inventory that's actually higher than 2019 levels. And this is with the lack of home buyers out there. This is with the low affordability in the housing market and home buyers not eager to purchase property. So when we take a look at what's going on in the Northeast, I think as mortgage rates start to come down, the Northeast that has significantly less inventory than there were in 2019, that's going to bring more buyers into the housing market, assuming that they have their jobs, they can pay for properties. The people that can't afford to buy homes, they're going to start moving out of rentals and try to jump back into the housing market, which at the very least is going to support home prices. But we could see prices start to increase through 2025, depending on how low interest rates go, depending on how low mortgage rates go. Now, when we take a look at this graph here, which I also think is useful, it talks about out of the 200 largest metros in the country, 41 metros have more inventory this year than they had in 2019, which is a significant increase from the past few years. We see back in 2020, only one market had more inventory on the market in 2020 than 2019. In 2021, there were 0. 2022, there were 5. 2023, there were 8. And then 2024, where we're at now, again, primarily because of low inventory and no buyers, less buyers out there searching for properties. That's why we have 41 out of the 200 largest metros have more inventory this year than they had in 2019. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about is what is going on with interest rates. Jerome Powell here at Jackson Hole, the time has come for the Fed to soon begin reducing rates, is the title here out of AP. So this is exactly what Jerome Powell said. The direction of travel is clear. The timing and pace of rate cuts will depend on incoming data, the evolving outlook, and balance of risks. So basically what he's saying is, look, we're going to be cutting rates. We don't know how fast. We don't know how much right now. We're going to wait to see what the data says, but rates will be coming down, which is why we've seen a decrease in mortgage rates now, right? In September, during the Fed September meeting, when they actually cut rates, we probably aren't going to see mortgage rates come down. That's because the market is already pricing in the Federal Reserve cutting their interest rates. So what we really need to see is more data, more signals from the Federal Reserve that they will cut beyond September and continue cutting at least throughout the end of 2024. If they do signal that, we will likely see interest rates come down below the 6% mark, again, which is going to bring affordability below the 2023 levels. Now we do have, and with more inventory on the market than we had in 2023, we are likely going to see more buyers submit offers on properties that have sat on the market for a little while with sellers who are ready to sell their properties, right? Not every home is selling within 2 weeks. I had 3 listings this past month, so all very recent listings. One of them sold within the first weekend. We received 8 offers, so pretty similar to what we've experienced over the past few years. Another listing took about 2 weeks to sell, and we only received 1 offer. And then my third listing should be going under contract today. It took about 3 weeks to go under contract, and we received 1 offer. So there is opportunity for buyers out there, especially as affordability is increasing. And I think for a short period of time, what we're going to see is buyers will have a great opportunity where affordability has come down a little bit, where many buyers aren't tuned into the fact that things are more affordable now, and sellers have been waiting to sell their home for a while and might be willing to take a good deal on their home, giving a great opportunity for you as a home buyer out there. Now, if you're a home seller, I think it's more important than ever to price your home appropriately, and don't expect that the home's going to sell in the first weekend. Now, it might, and if it does, that's great. I that's what I hope for all of my sellers. That's what I hope for you as a home seller out there. But if it takes 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, maybe even 2 months to go under contract, that's not unusual based on what we're seeing in the market. And more buyers will be coming into the housing market as rates drop. So things should start to improve for you as we move throughout 2024 and into 2025. So thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think. Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? I love reading your comments and learning about your perspectives. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.